G'day everyone, it's Annette here and welcome to my channel. This week I'm trying Claire Holloway's Petri lightning effect. It's a different way of how I've seen Petri effect done online, where the drops are just placed willy-nilly. These are very precise in how Claire does it. I looked at her videos that she'd put up and I wrote notes and I decided to give it a try. I've been inspired by the amazing Claire Holloway, who does Petri effect really well. I'm going to give it a go with some suggestions from Claire. I don't have the same resin as she does, but I'll try. I have TE Expert epoxy resin, crystal clear. It's a 1-to-1 ratio mix. I do have Ranger alcohol links, which Claire also uses, but mine are really old, at least 15, maybe 20 years old. So hopefully they'll still work. I'm going to try this white, which is one that Claire uses as well. As my sinker colours, I'm going to try on this side, Pool, Shell Pink, and Watermelon. On this side I have Mermaid, Cloudy Blue, and Sunset Orange. Mix up my resin and get my PPE on, and I think what Claire does is she pours the resin, does the drops, and then leaves it, and then does her swirl. I have my PPE on now, so this is a voiceover. As you'll see, I'm listing errors as I move through the video. You may know what they are if you've done Petri before, but I was over enthusiastic and I didn't take heed of what I saw or my own notes. So the errors that I've listed, I'll tell you what they are down below in the description box. Claire is an expert at the Petri effect in resin using alcohol inks, and she came up with this lightning technique on her own, and it's her term to call it the lightning technique, but it's quite appropriate. The idea is you only put your first two inks at the top and the bottom, or at the side, either side of your mold, and you leave a negative space in the middle. In the negative space you put a paler alcohol ink, which Claire terms the splitter ink. It separates the two inks that you've already put in so that they can't reach each other and muddy. The white alcohol sinker ink only goes where the splitter ink is. The white and the splitter ink naturally push the first two inks to the edges, and then as resin normally does, it comes back towards the middle. So where the white was put in is now a line, like a lightning effect. it's the next day, and as my first attempt, I think I've stuffed up quite a few of these, but it's a learning curve. Some of them actually look really good on the reverse side. A few rookie mistakes. Don't fill your pendant mold up too high, because it flows over and it goes everywhere and it looks terrible. And that's when I've got it most muddied. Rookie mistake number 2, this one and this one, too much ink, way too much ink. I think what I might do, because I don't know how the other side looks, but I'm not greatly confident it's worked, is just put a backing on. I'll just use a quick set resin, let it all cure, and we'll see how it looks later on tonight. I'm up to putting a bit of a gloss finish onto some of these Petri things that I made. Unfortunately, both my molds are not that great, and they came out semi-gloss, so you can't really see if there's a very good effect or not in there. What I'm going to do is use some UV resin. I'm working at night time here. I've poured the UV resin into a black coffee cup that I bought specifically for this. Let's hope I don't have a swig. I'll attach a flat head pin to the back with a bit of UV resin, cure it on there, and then dip it into here, let it all run off, and then I'm going to put it under my UV light. I've got a fairly large UV light over there, so that's where I'll put them on top of the mirror to fully cure through. I always wear my PPE with UV resin. You can be tempted not to, thinking it's not a 2-part epoxy and it doesn't give off fumes. It stinks, I reckon. I've also got my doors open, I've got a fan on, and I've got 2 air purifiers running as well. That's how seriously I take my own health with products, and I hope you do too. As soon as I finished with the UV resin, I put the lid tightly back on, because even though my UV light is over there, it can affect any resin that's on the edge of this. It's now fully cured, and I've got some nice little spores happening there. So even though this was my very first try of this, I haven't done too bad. These spots you can see, that's my lights. My dipping needs a lot more practice though. I'm really happy with this, and thank you, Claire, again for your help. These are the ones that were in this mould here. This is how they look now. So this is the back side. This is the first lot I did. As you know, I used too much ink. I didn't leave space to put the splitter in, and I overfilled the moulds. I actually don't mind some of them, especially these three on this side. Oh, my camera's having trouble focusing. That's a bit better. So you can see I did get some spores, and it's quite pretty. I like the blue and the red one, and this one here is my favorite. That one there. It turned out really well. These are the dog tag ones that I did. The blue one, I can't find where I've put it. I think it's somewhere on my messy desk or possibly on the floor. I could even have thrown it out. It didn't turn out very good anyway, but these are the other ones. So I'll turn them all over. Again, I did everything wrong that I shouldn't do. Too much ink, no room for the splitter, too much white probably, and these little ones over here were just some jewelry ones I poured, and I used too much resin on these as well as too much ink, so these are all muddy. That one's quite muddy. None of these worked out very well. I don't mind some of the colours, it's just I didn't do a very good job. Since completing these, I've now gone back and watched Claire's videos again. I've written her instructions out fully. I'd like to give this another try another time, but really some of the ones did work that I did, even though I didn't follow everything correctly, and for my first try I'm actually really happy for that. Thank you, Claire, again for all your help that you give us in the group that I'm in, which is Resin for Beginners. I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned a little bit. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.